Okay, I hope that you had a good time with the 1.5 task where you walked through it on Desmos. As for the homework, here are some tips and tricks that will help you. So this first example says to identify which of the following are functions. So remember, a function means that for every input there's exactly one output. Some ways you can tell it is the vertical line test, or often that the outputs are not the inputs are not repeating, etc. So it just says if it is not, then also state how you would fix it. So here we've got an input of 1, 2, and 3. So since none of the inputs repeat and each one maps to exactly one output, this is a function. Okay, on this next one, if we think about the vertical line test, so if we have some vertical lines, the vertical line test says that it should only cross one point at a time. But here you can see on all of these lines, it's crossing at 2 different points. So this one is not a function. However, if you wanted to make it a function, for example, if we just took like the top or the bottom half, then it would be a function. So a way to fix it would be to take the top half. Okay, as you have with the tortoise and the hare, you're comparing 2 different functions. So let's do that here, and that's going to be what your set part is going to be of your homework. So the graph shows time, so that's going to be your x-axis, versus distance. So which of these 2 runners is jogging at a constant speed? So what does it mean if something's going at a constant speed, right? That means that it's linear, right? The rate of change is not going different here at all. So that would be the red line here is going to be the runner that's jogging at a constant speed. The person who's sprinting, right, meaning they're going maybe they start off a little bit slow, they're going faster and faster over time, therefore it has to be the blue line. And you can tell that they are getting faster and faster, particularly as the slope goes up and up here on that part. Okay, for what interval is the jogger going faster than the sprinter? So what interval is the red greater than the blue? So in this case, at 0, 0, it looks like they're the same. And then at this point is where they cross over, right? The red's ahead, 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 up until this point, which is 4, 4. It's kind of convenient that it's at 4, 4, because then we can just say, hey, from 0 to 4, the jogger is ahead. But remember that really those should be x values as we're talking about the interval. Last but not least, on the go part of your homework, we're going to talk about domain, which is your x values, and range, which is your y values. So it says use interval notation. So remember that things like telling the value it starts and ends at. It can include negative infinity or infinity, but it also can be numbers where appropriate. So your domain looking is how far left it goes. Because we have these arrows that are pointing to the left, it will go all the way to the left. If I keep going left, 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 I'm going more and more negative. So I go from negative infinity. Anytime we have infinity, we use a parenthesis. And then I look at the right. The furthest points to the right are these 2 here. And they have an x value of 2. So it ends at 2. Because it looks like it touches at that point, we usually use that square bracket to indicate that we include it. Whereas the parenthesis means that we don't include that point. Okay, so range is going to be how low to how high. So it looks like over here, on this left side, it's going to the left, but it's also going down. So if this keeps going down, 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 it will go from negative infinity. Okay, you may look at the highest point and say, hey, it's just above 2 here, but notice on this left side on the top part, it's going to the left and then up, 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 up. Keeps going up, it's going to go to infinity as well. Okay, this over here graph on the left here, if we look at the furthest left point here, we've got this point here, which is negative 7, 3. We just want the x value, so it is at negative 7. Since it is a closed circle, we do use the square bracket. Go all the way to the right over here, we got the furthest right point is 3, 4. And so that x value is 3, since it is a closed circle, square bracket. Range now is the lowest and the highest. The lowest point is down here, and this is 1, negative 2, but since it's range, we just care about the y value of negative 2. Once again, it looks like it touches that point, so I'm going to use the bracket. And then if we go to the highest point up here, we've got it at 8. And since it looks like it touches that point once again, it's a square bracket. Okay, that should get you prepared